Goeiedag and welcome. My name is Amarinske and today I will be doing the new to Booktube tag for you. This tag was created by Between Chapters a couple of years ago. Question 1 is, where are you joining us from? Well, I'm joining Booktube from the Netherlands, from Leeuwarden. And question 2 is, how old are you? I'm 24 years old. Question 3 is, why did I join Booktube? Well, I did join Booktube because I really like making videos and have been considering starting a channel for a couple of years now. Question 4, what is the meaning behind my channel name? Well, the channel name is Amalyrical, and it has a bit to do with the fact that I like writing poetry, but my name is Amarinske. But I also like writing short stories, and which usually do not turn out that well, but I have been wanting to write a book for a long time now, and I really like writing. So I thought that since I like poetry and writing and also a little bit more of the lyrical song texts in music, I thought that would be a really fitting channel name. That's why I chose it. Question 5. What types of books do you read or want to talk about? Well, I mostly read adult fantasy and other kind of adult literary fiction, as well as sometimes a little bit of scientific non-fiction. I really like to talk about that because I came across channels in which people write literary fiction and adult books also, and I really like watching those, but what I did not come across is people who read books in 3 or 4 different languages, which I can do and which I want to do, and if it works out well enough, I want to try and recommend books that have been translated in several languages to you, so you can enjoy books that I enjoyed, and hopefully they will be just as great in English as in Dutch or in German. I can also read Frisian, but that's such a very small minority language that the chance that English books have been translated into Frisian is bigger than the other way around. I have already seen that by discovering that The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, has been translated into Frisian. But it was so expensive that I could not afford to buy it, even though I really wanted. Question 6. Who are some of your favorite authors? Well, I will mention a few. My favorite German author is probably Kai Meyer, who writes very nicely to read German fantasy novels in adult, YA and middle grade age ranges, which I really like. My favorite Dutch author will probably be Arthur Japin, because he writes really deep and well-researched historical fictions, and I just really like his writing style. His stories are very nicely and easily to read, and I have also discovered that at least a couple of his books I like have been translated, so if I am ever going to do a recommendation video of my favorite books that have been translated, I think a couple of his books will end up in there. And then my favorite English writer, or actually it's an American author, that will be Keith Donahue, who is actually one of the first adult writers I discovered, because years and years ago I discovered in the library, when it was just out, the Dutch translation of The Stolen Child, which is called Het Wisselkind. My favorite book of Keith is The Boy Who Drew Monsters. Question 7 is, what book did you last read? The last book I finished is this book, Named of the Dragon. Question 8 will be, what books am I currently reading? I'm currently reading these 2 books. I'm actually finishing them. So we have Out of Us by Gregory Maguire, part 4 in the Wicked Years series, Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. Question 9 is, what do I use for bookmarks? Well, I use bookmarks for bookmarks. Sometimes I just remember the page I last read in my head without even using a bookmark. Question 10, show us your current TBR pile. Well, I have a completely full shelf of books that I haven't read, which is my to-read shelf. My Dutch books are also missing. This is my Dutch shelf. Here we can also see some books I haven't read yet. As you can see, my to-read pile is pretty big. Question 11. Which do you prefer? Hardcover or paperback? Ebooks or physical books? Owning or borrowing books? For the aesthetics, I actually like hardcovers better, but usually I like the floppy paperbacks for reading, because quite a lot of the books I read have quite a lot of pages. Reading that in hardcover is actually quite annoying. I prefer physical books because if I read from a screen I get headaches and get very tired very soon. I just do not like reading from screens. The final part is, do I prefer owning or borrowing books? And I don't really care. I do not really care what a book looks like, or especially not if I am borrowing it from the library. It's just that I have such a big physical TBR on my bookshelves already that I do not currently own a library card, so I am not really borrowing books from the library at the moment. But as soon as my shelves are either full, I will be trying to get a library card and go to the library more often. Or if I really like audiobooks, I also might get a library card so I can borrow those. Question 12. What book or series got me into reading? I really do not remember. I have been into reading ever since the moment I learned how to read, which was when I was about 7 years old. Even before then, I was always into listening to my parents read to me, or to my father making up stories based on character ideas and plot ideas that I or my sister or our friends or stuff came up with in the evening, because my father really liked inventing stories and we really liked listening to them. Question 13. How did I discover Booktube? There was a day a couple of months ago, I think. I was watching Serial Time, which was a morning show, a little bit like the British Good Mythical Morning. And they once had Sana over from Books and Quills. Since she was talking about books, I was really curious what it entailed, and I went to her channel and looked at the video. Then I came across more and more Booktube channels. Since I had already wanted to start a channel where I at least talked a little bit about books, this seemed to be a good place to start, and I discovered that it was called Booktube. I really loved that, so I kept on watching and discovering more and more and more. Then decided, why not try and start a channel, because I had actually wanted to do that at the end of December, but I did not have proper amount of time. Question 14 is, what challenge I think I will have with Booktube. I don't think in my case it will be editing or uploading videos, because I actually really like editing, and I also really like filming. But I think getting a consistent uploading schedule. Question 15 is, where else can you find me? That would be, I have a Twitter and a Goodreads, and I will link them down below. This was everything. I hope you will have a good day, and on the other keer.